In the realm of cyberspace, where anonymity reigns supreme, the name anonymous has become synonymous with mystery, intrigue, and rebellion. Born from the depths of the internet, this decentralized collective of hackers and activists has made headlines around the world for its daring exploits and bold declarations of defiance against authority and injustice. In one such instance, an anonymous hacker member emerged from the shadows to highlight a cache of documents that promised to shake the very foundations of our understanding of the world. Among these documents were revelations of giant discoveries, evidence of ancient beings of colossal stature that once roamed the earth, hidden in the annals of history and obscured from public view. The story begins with a cryptic message posted on an internet forum frequented by members of the anonymous collective. In the message, the hacker claimed to have gained access to a trove of classified documents stored on a secure server belonging to a government agency. These documents, the hacker alleged, contained explosive information that had been deliberately concealed from the public eye. The anonymous member posted that throughout the 19th and early 20th centuries, author Richard J. Dewhurst documented a series of peculiar accounts detailing the unearthing of oversized humanoid skeletons in North America. These archaeological findings initially pointed towards the existence of a previously unknown indigenous species, bearing a striking resemblance to the mythical race of giants depicted in ancient lore. However, rather cryptically, the reports, accompanying data and physical evidence such as skeletal remains, ancient artifacts, and references to a giant-centric culture were meticulously concealed, destroyed, or kept hidden from the general public. The baffling suppression of these discoveries raises intriguing questions about the potential existence of a forgotten chapter in human history, and hints at a deliberate effort to obscure knowledge of these enigmatic beings from wider scrutiny and understanding. In the initial stages of his research, Richard Dewhurst encountered a significant volume of archaeological findings unearthed by ordinary individuals during the expansion phase of New York settlements. A noteworthy instance highlighted in the report, A History of Livingston Country, New York, 1824, was the unearthing of a burial mound belonging to indigenous peoples, where the excavation revealed the presence of remarkably large humanoid skeletons that were brought to light by Jesse Stanley. The report intricately detailed this discovery, shedding light on the remarkable uncovering of these ancient remains, providing a glimpse into the historical narratives embedded within the region. This notable event underscores the invaluable insights that arise from the unearthing of these archaeological treasures by members of the general populace, offering a unique perspective on the rich heritage and past civilizations that have shaped the landscape of New York. In the early 1820s, there was a significant event where a mound was excavated, uncovering a variety of artifacts, such as arrowheads, a brass kettle, and knives that were found during the excavation process. Moreover, this excavation revealed multiple human skeletons, with one particular skeleton standing out due to its massive size. The jawbone of this gigantic human skeleton was notably large, so much so that Adam Holzlander, who was known as the largest man in the settlement at that time, could place it over his own chin and jaw like a mask, showcasing the immense size of the discovered remains. This discovery sparked intrigue and fascination among the local community, prompting discussions about the existence of such unusually large individuals in the past and their significance in the historical context of the region. In light of the compelling nature of the argument suggesting a possible error by the Institute that initially reported the finding in 1820, it is crucial to consider the multitude of subsequent reports that emerged in connection with various mounds unearthed in the same region. One such report, featured in a publication titled A History of Western New York, 1804 from New York, meticulously documented the unearthing of colossal humanoid remains. These findings were meticulously examined and accurately documented by scientific authorities. This specific report has been noted for its detailed description and precise measurements of the unearthed bones. This substantial body of reports not only adds credence to the initial discovery, but also sheds further light on the consistency and accuracy of the findings across multiple excavations in the region. The comprehensive nature of these accounts reinforces the authenticity of the discoveries, with each subsequent report contributing to a growing body of evidence that substantiates the existence of these remarkable archaeological finds. In the realm of archaeological discoveries, there have been findings of human bones of colossal dimensions that astound with their exceptional state of preservation, allowing for meticulous description and measurement. The skulls uncovered in this intriguing collection possess cavities of such substantial size that they could adequately encase the head of a modern individual, effortlessly fitting like a contemporary hat or cap. Furthermore, the jawbones exhibited in these revelations prove to be of significant dimensions, capable of being placed to align perfectly outside the facial structure of a person from our era. These exceptional features observed extend beyond the skulls and jawbones, as additional skeletal remains unearthed showcase a remarkable consistency in size proportions with the aforementioned cranial and facial bones. A number of these remarkable artifacts have found their home in the display cases of antiquarians, where they remain on exhibition, providing a tangible link to our distant past for those keen on exploring the enigmatic secrets of bygone eras. Contrary to expectation, according to the information presented in this report, the skeletal remains of giants were carefully preserved, curated in museums, and examined by archaeologists in the past. However, in a puzzling turn of events, there is a notable absence of any giant humanoid skeletons currently available for public viewing or research in prominent Native American museums. The question arises, despite the numerous documented discoveries related to these colossal Native American skeletons, why do they seem to be conspicuously absent from contemporary displays or collections? Richard Dewhurst, in his detailed exploration, highlights a disturbing thread throughout his book that points towards a deliberate distortion of the historical narrative by a specific organization across generations. In a poignant quote attributed to Richard Dewhurst, this deception is succinctly encapsulated. The Smithsonian Institution, post-Civil War, implemented a policy that deliberately overlooked any direct foreign influence in the Americas before Columbus's arrival. This strategic exclusion has sparked various interpretations. Some argue that it stemmed from the post-war government's desire to suppress regional and ethnic tensions during the nation's delicate Reconstruction phase. Additionally, certain voices suggest that this exclusion was driven by the expansionist principles rooted in the doctrine of manifest destiny, aiming to conceal the origins of indigenous tribes displaced and decimated by westward expansion. There are also claims that this policy was strategically crafted to counter the Mormon religion's challenges, particularly its belief that the lost tribes of Israel resided in America. This multifaceted approach not only illustrates the complexity of historical narratives, but also underscores the intricate web of political, religious, and social factors at play during that era. Investigating the Smithsonian Institution's potential involvement in concealing the potential existence of humanoid giants raises intriguing questions. Dewhurst suggests that his research indicates a pattern within the Smithsonian's practices of disregarding archaeological findings that conflicted with their established narrative. This pattern seems to be closely linked to Major John Wesley Powell, an esteemed geologist, who played a pivotal role in shaping the exclusionary policies regarding evidence. By delving into Powell's influence, it becomes apparent that he held significant sway over the institution's approach to managing new discoveries, particularly those diverging from established beliefs. During the inception of the Bureau of Ethnology by the United States Congress in 1879, Major John Wesley Powell assumed the esteemed role of its first director, a position he held until his demise in 1902. The Bureau's primary objective was the meticulous relocation of archives, records, and materials pertaining to the indigenous peoples of North America from the Interior Department to the Smithsonian Institution. Major Powell's tenure as the Bureau of Ethnology's director marked a significant period when his unrivaled expertise in American West geography led to a special assignment. Tasked with crafting a detailed account of the ancient tribes and their probable origins, he diligently penned a comprehensive report. Rather than subjecting his work to peer review by fellow experts, archaeologists, or field explorers, Powell swiftly elevated his report to the status of the Smithsonian Institution's official policy, a stance unchallenged for the ensuing century. Major John Wesley Powell authored a report addressed to the Secretary of the Smithsonian Institution named On Limitations to the Use of Some Anthropologic Data. Within this report, he emphatically posited that there was no justification or advantage in pursuing the ancestral roots of indigenous tribes in North America. Powell's viewpoint was articulated clearly through the following excerpt from the report. In delving into the realm of customs, one may stumble upon subtle hints, yet beyond this surface lies a realm where the findings have often been misappropriated, particularly in attempts to establish connections between the Native American tribes and ancient civilizations from distant corners of the globe. The study of these ancient artifacts has been marred by unnecessary conjecture regarding the potential links between the civilizations they represent and the indigenous tribes of North America from documented history. Therefore, there is no justification for seeking an external, non-indigenous source to account for the advanced knowledge and skills displayed by the ancient inhabitants of North America as evidenced by the artifacts unearthed from the mounds. In light of these reports, Charles Doolittle Walcott, who served as the secretary of the Smithsonian Institution from 1907 to 1927, adopted the Powell Doctrine as the official stance of the institution for the latter part of the 20th century. Interestingly, to this day, the Powell Doctrine continues to be upheld by the Smithsonian, despite the ongoing efforts of contemporary archaeologists and historians to advocate for the recognition of numerous settlement attempts predating the European colonization of the 18th century. This enduring adherence to the Powell Doctrine within the Smithsonian highlights the significance and influence of Walcott's decision, shaping the institution's approach to historical interpretations and archaeological practices throughout the years. Moreover, the persistent advocacy for acknowledging pre-colonial settlement endeavors underscores the continuous evolution and discourse within the field of archaeology, prompting a re-evaluation of historical narratives and perspectives that have long dominated scholarly discussions. Richard Dewhurst, in his research findings, associated the concealment policy with compelling evidence pointing towards an extensive suppression not only of the unearthing of large humanoid skeletons scattered throughout North America, but also of any relics hinting at a potential European presence or migration to the New World prior to Christopher Columbus's colonization ventures. Presently, the prevailing hypothesis regarding the Native Americans' origins revolves around a purely speculative notion suggesting that during the ancient Ice Age, ice bridges formed connecting continents worldwide, enabling migration from Africa to the southern regions of the Americas, despite a lack of concrete evidence supporting this assertion. Dewhurst's investigations highlighted the existence of covert measures aimed at concealing historical truths, emphasizing the need to delve deeper into unraveling the mysteries surrounding the suppression of significant archaeological discoveries and narratives that could potentially reshape our understanding of the past. The ramifications of this policy are profound and multifaceted, making it difficult to fully grasp the extent of its impact. One prominent consequence has been the deliberate suppression of numerous discoveries labeled as out of context. These artifacts were generously offered to the museum with genuine unawareness of its entrenched policy favoring conformity and detracting from diverse perspectives. Complicating matters further, the majority of prestigious universities across the United States have aligning regulations, mirroring the Smithsonian's stance. Consequently, the pursuit of studying alternative narratives in American history has been severely hindered, with researchers facing insurmountable barriers in accessing grants and funding for such endeavors. This widespread stance limits the exploration of varied historical viewpoints and restricts the academic pursuit of a more inclusive understanding of the nation's past. Throughout modern times, the quest for giant humanoid skeletons, although futile, has unveiled a pervasive concealment orchestrated by North American archaeological institutions spanning the United States. This orchestrated suppression notably targets any conflicting evidence or revelations that challenge the Powell Doctrine's credibility. The prevailing scenario hints at a pattern where educational establishments persist in shielding the truth from public knowledge. This cloak of secrecy shrouds the Native American burial sites, renowned for concealing these colossal skeletal remains. Unless independent entities take charge and delve into unearthing these clandestine burial mounds harboring giant humanoid skeletons nationwide, the veil of misinformation propagated by academic circles will likely endure in the foreseeable future. During an excavation in the Lovelock Caves in Nevada, a fascinating discovery was unearthed by a team of archaeologists affiliated with the University of California. This intriguing find included a range of peculiar artifacts, most notably the astonishing mummified remains of red-haired giants measuring between 8 to 10 feet in stature. Referred to as the Lovelock Giants due to their origin within the confines of the Lovelock Cave, these oversized individuals baffled researchers with their extraordinary size. In addition to the giant mummies, the archaeologists stumbled upon a peculiar pair of enormous sandals, distinctly unsuitable for the typical human foot, hinting at the enigmatic nature of these ancient findings. This revelation not only sheds light on the mysterious history of the region, but also raises intriguing questions about the existence of such gigantic individuals in the past, prompting further exploration and analysis to uncover the secrets of the Lovelock Giants. During archaeological excavations, a pair of sandals measuring 15 inches in length was unearthed, bearing distinct indications of previous wear. Notably, a handprint of considerable size was identified on one of the stones within the confines of Lovelock Cave. Many of the artifacts recovered from this site currently reside in various museums and private collections, underscoring their historical significance. In a notable discovery from 1931, 2 colossal skeletons of red-haired giants were uncovered in close proximity to the cave, sparking intense curiosity and speculation. These extraordinary findings have prompted widespread speculation and intrigue, fueling beliefs that an ancient race of giant humans once roamed the Earth, leaving an indelible mark on history. The prevalence of enigmatic humanoid giant skeletons unearthed throughout various locations in North America has sparked widespread curiosity and intrigue within the archaeological community. Particularly noteworthy are the perplexing discoveries that challenge conventional explanations, coupled with the unsettling concealment of conflicting findings by reputed institutions such as the Smithsonian Institute, casting a shadow over the realm of North American studies. In 2012, a remarkable discovery was unveiled in the depths of the Ecuadorian jungles. This discovery pertained to the remnants of an immense structure, measuring 260 feet in height and 260 feet in width. Comprising numerous 2-ton blocks, the site was dubbed the Lost City of Giants by author and researcher Bruce Fenton. This title was inspired by the oversized tools unearthed in its proximity and the local folklore that recounts the existence of a civilization of colossal humans who once thrived in the area. The unearthing of these colossal tools and the allusions to a race of giant inhabitants has continued to captivate the imagination and intrigue of scientists and historians. The extensive scale of the structure's components and its contextual association with massive tools has fueled intense speculation regarding the existence of a civilization of gigantic beings. The expansive edifice comprises a wall that inclines at a 60-degree angle, featuring a level surface at its pinnacle, which has yielded a plethora of artifacts upon excavation. Describing the site, Mr. Duvernay suggested that the configuration resembles a paved wall or an ancient thoroughfare or plaza characterized by a 60-degree inclination, conceivably serving as the cap of a larger architectural entity. The precision in the alignment of numerous stones, their impeccably sharp edges, and apparent human craftsmanship point to their deliberate sculpting. Mr. Duvernay shared these observations following an extensive expedition to the location during the months of April and May, providing valuable insights into the remarkable findings. The courageous explorers who chanced upon the remarkable structure have now embarked on the careful process of unveiling further details about their discovery. Among these findings is the unearthing of several massive stones featuring perfectly cut circular holes at their centers. This evidence serves to discredit the theory, suggesting that the colossal pyramid-like structure could merely be a natural occurrence. Interestingly, it is becoming evident that the significance of this discovery surpasses initial expectations. The implications of this finding suggest that it may hold the key to unraveling many of South America's enigmatic mysteries and could potentially lead to the revelation of one of the world's most coveted treasures. A multinational team of researchers has put forward the notion that the structure they have discovered could potentially serve as the resting place of Atahualpa, the final ruler of the Incan Empire. Atahualpa met his demise after being captured by the Spanish, resulting in the widespread belief that he was interred alongside a vast fortune in gold, collected by his adherents in an unsuccessful attempt to secure his freedom. The pursuit of this tomb and its accompanying riches has captured the imagination of historians and treasure hunters globally, prompting numerous expeditions in search of this elusive prize, yet none have succeeded in their quest thus far. Bruce Fenton, a British researcher residing in Ecuador and well-versed in the indigenous cultures of the region, holds a contrasting view. He suggests that the recently unearthed site might have origins predating the Inca era and possibly linked to an unidentified pre-Inca civilization. This perspective is rooted in the discovery of around 30 basic tools at the site, alongside the extensive erosion evident on the large stone blocks. The rudimentary tools and the level of erosion observed have led Fenton to postulate a significantly earlier timeline for the site's establishment, challenging the prevailing notion regarding its historical significance. The Ecuadorian authorities have been informed about the discovery, and a team of archaeologists and paleontologists is anticipated to undertake an official expedition. Nonetheless, the investigation of the site is hindered by treacherous conditions. The journey through thick, mountainous jungle from the closest town takes approximately 8 hours, with one of the routes being notorious for the dangers posed by attacks from African bees. Despite these challenges, efforts are underway to facilitate a comprehensive exploration of the area to unveil its historical and scientific significance. For those unaware, back in 2012 when the initial discovery was made, the site under exploration, a remarkably colossal pyramidal-style edifice measuring about 80 meters in both length and height, is situated, featuring steeply inclined walls. This construction comprises asymmetrical, large hewn stone blocks, with each block estimated to weigh around 2 tons at present. The walls of the structure consist of hundreds of these blocks meticulously assembled together. This architectural marvel showcases meticulous craftsmanship and engineering, reflecting the advanced skills of its builders and leaving a significant impact on the site's historical and archaeological significance. In the elevated region, there lies a level surface that is believed to have functioned as a ceremonial or possibly sacrificial platform utilized by priests. Surrounding this area, numerous stone and pottery artifacts are strewn about. Several of these items bear resemblance to stone tools that might have been employed in either mining or refining various types of metal ore. Both the architectural style of the structures and the nature of the discovered objects point towards an enigmatic pre-Inca civilization. Notably, further examination is imperative to corroborate these observations, a task that Fenton and his team are poised to undertake in the imminent future. This comprehensive investigation aims to shed light on this ancient culture and unearth new insights regarding its practices, beliefs, and technological advancements. Fenton's observations have identified certain tools within the site that would pose significant challenges for an average-sized individual to wield effectively. As a result, he has postulated that this location could be linked to the fabled lost cities of the giants, a prominent element in local Ecuadorian folklore centered on the Amazonian region. These sites instill profound apprehension in contemporary jungle tribes, as they are believed to be safeguarded by spiritual sentinels or entities not of terrestrial origins. Such legends have endured, evoking both fear and fascination, and continue to permeate the modern understanding of this enigmatic locale. Local folklore tells of colossal humans inhabiting long-forgotten cities steeped in the annals of time. Evidence of giant skeletal remains discovered in caves within the region and across various parts of Ecuador lends credence to these tales. Historically, this specific locale was revered as a major convergence point for diverse tribes, with groups from as far as Brazil making the arduous journey due to the area's perceived enduring significance and considerable energetic resonance. The research team has currently discovered numerous substantial hills in close proximity to the authenticated pyramid construction, with each hill matching the supposed pyramid in size. It is plausible that these hills could potentially be undiscovered pyramids. If proven true, this discovery could indicate the existence of a remarkably large city and a complex of pyramids. This finding has the potential to significantly reshape our understanding of the historical and archaeological landscape in the region. A globally diverse group of specialists in ancient megalithic structures and pyramid technologies are making preparations for upcoming expeditions to the location. Their objective includes precise mapping and the production of a 1-hour documentary highlighting the remarkable attributes of this captivating site. During the course of the investigation, Extensive soil removal on a large hill exposed what appear to be carefully cut and refined stone blocks. These blocks exhibit remarkably smooth surfaces, their aging process seemingly slowed by a protective layer of earth. Conversely, on an alternate side of the pyramid structure, a weathered and eroded wall has been unveiled, contrasting with the stones still concealed by soil. This observation lends support to the hypothesis that, if of human origin, the site is indeed exceptionally ancient, surpassing the age of other known sites in Ecuador. Fenton has put forth the theory that a seismic event, or a heavy tropical rainstorm, triggered a landslide, resulting in the descent of soil and vegetation from one of the walls. The pyramid wall exhibits a diverse range of shapes and sizes in its blocks, creating a seemingly disorderly yet intriguingly unique architectural style. If it were indeed constructed by humans, the construction challenges faced by the engineers and builders of that era would have been quite significant. The stonework bears a striking resemblance to the masonry found at other ancient sites in Peru, such as the fortress at Sacsayhuaman. Interestingly, local Indians attribute the construction of Sacsayhuaman to an ancient civilization with the remarkable ability to soften rocks using a plant-derived substance, challenging the mainstream attribution of the construction to the Inca. This suggests the existence of advanced ancient techniques and knowledge that defy conventional understanding. Upon close examination of the stone blocks, it is evident that a resilient bonding substance, akin to cement or concrete, exists between them. While it is widely believed that the Inca civilization refrained from using mortar and instead fashioned blocks to seamlessly interlock, the presence of bonding material amidst certain large cut stone blocks challenges this notion. Closer scrutiny also raises the possibility that this substance could be a form of vitrified material. Furthermore, instances of vitrified stone have been observed at various ancient sites across Latin America, indicating a recurring phenomenon. This discovery sheds new light on the construction techniques employed by ancient civilizations, prompting further exploration and analysis in the field of archaeology. The researchers at the excavation site also stumbled upon what seemed to be exceptionally large implements, seemingly impractical for individuals of average stature to wield. This discovery has prompted Fenton to speculate that this site could be one of the fabled lost cities of the giants, prominently featured in local Ecuadorian folklore about the Amazonian region. These legends revolve around colossal humanoids who inhabited cities that have since faded into obscurity throughout history. Notably, the region has seen the unearthing of massive skeletal remains in caves, further reinforcing the presence of gigantic inhabitants, a phenomenon not limited to this particular area, but also observed in various other regions of Ecuador. The implements seem to resemble excessively large hammers, perhaps with stone heads. If these were affixed to sturdy wooden shafts, they would possess remarkable size and weight, rendering them impractical for everyday use by the average Incan or indigenous Indian. These individuals were typically of slight build, with an average height of about 5 feet, making it challenging for them to wield such hefty tools effectively. The Baalbek stones, located in the ancient city of Baalbek, Lebanon, are a source of enduring mystery and fascination for historians, archaeologists, and engineers alike. These massive stone blocks, some weighing over 1,000 tons, are remnants of a Roman temple complex and represent a feat of construction and engineering that remains unparalleled in antiquity. While the architectural grandeur of the Temple of Jupiter at Baalbek is impressive, it is the size and sheer mass of these megalithic stones, known as the trilithon, that raise profound questions about how ancient builders could have moved and positioned them. Even today, with modern technology, moving such colossal stones would be an immense challenge, making the Baalbek stones an enigmatic puzzle that has yet to be fully solved. Baalbek, located in Lebanon's fertile Bekaa Valley, has been a significant religious and cultural site for millennia, long before the Romans arrived. It was home to a massive temple complex dedicated to Jupiter, one of the largest ever built in the Roman Empire. The Temple of Jupiter itself was constructed atop an older platform, but it is the massive stone blocks at the base of the temple that have captured the imagination of researchers. The largest of these blocks, known as the Stone of the Pregnant Woman, lies abandoned in a nearby quarry. It weighs an estimated 1,200 tons, making it one of the largest monoliths ever carved by human hands. Another recently discovered block in the same quarry, still partially buried, weighs an estimated 1,600 tons, further compounding the mystery of how the ancient builders moved such gargantuan stones. The Baalbek stones raise numerous questions, particularly about how they were transported and arranged. Modern-day engineers have speculated on how such tasks might have been accomplished, but none of the theories provide conclusive answers. Unlike other ancient megalithic structures, such as the pyramids of Egypt or Stonehenge, the technology and methods used to move the Baalbek stones remain largely unknown. One of the key mysteries is how the ancient builders managed to transport these massive stones from the quarry to the construction site, a distance of roughly 800 meters. Moving a stone weighing over 800 tons would require an enormous amount of force and coordination, even with today's advanced machinery. Without cranes, hydraulic lifts, or other modern technology, the Romans would have had to rely on manpower, ropes, and potentially wooden sleds or rollers. However, no definitive evidence has been found to suggest precisely how this was achieved. Even with a vast workforce, the logistics of moving such immense blocks without breaking them or derailing the entire project would have been mind-boggling. Another puzzle is how the stones were lifted and placed so precisely into position. The blocks are not simply laid on the ground, they are elevated and interlocked with one another in the structure, forming the foundation of the temple. The precision with which these massive stones were fitted is remarkable, leaving little room for error. Even with contemporary construction techniques, moving and positioning such heavy stones with the accuracy seen at Baalbek would be a formidable challenge. Over the years, several theories have been proposed to explain how the Baalbek stones were moved. Some scholars suggest that the Romans employed sophisticated engineering techniques that have since been lost to history. The Roman Empire was renowned for its architectural prowess, building aqueducts, roads, and bridges that still stand today. It is possible that they developed specialized tools or methods for moving large stones, but no definitive archaeological evidence has been found to support this. Another theory is that the Romans may have used a system of ramps and pulleys, similar to the methods used to construct the Egyptian pyramids. Large teams of laborers could have dragged the stones using wooden sledges or placed them on rollers with the aid of lubricants like water or oil to reduce friction. However, these methods still seem inadequate when considering the size and weight of the stones in Baalbek, leading some to believe that the Romans must have had access to more advanced techniques than we currently understand. In more speculative circles, some have proposed that the Baalbek stones predate the Romans altogether, suggesting that they were originally part of an even older, lost civilization that possessed advanced technology. This theory, while lacking direct evidence, posits that the Romans merely built their temple atop a pre-existing megalithic platform. Advocates of this idea point to the stone's sheer size, which seems out of place even within the context of Roman engineering. While these theories vary in their plausibility, none fully explain how the Baalbek stones were quarried, moved, and positioned with such precision. The lack of written records detailing the construction process only deepens the mystery, leaving room for speculation and debate. Beyond the mystery of their construction, the Baalbek stones hold significant cultural and historical importance. They represent the incredible ambition and capability of ancient civilizations, illustrating the lengths to which they would go to honor their gods and assert their dominance over the landscape. The temple complex at Baalbek was a symbol of the Roman Empire's power, designed to be one of the grandest religious sites in the ancient world. Throughout the long and storied history of ancient Egypt, one of the most fascinating aspects of its culture is the artwork left behind. Tomb paintings, temple carvings, and monuments reveal much about Egyptian beliefs, social structures, and everyday life. Among these depictions, a recurring motif has drawn considerable attention from both scholars and the general public: the portrayal of giant humans. In Egyptian artwork, these larger-than-life figures often appear next to smaller human figures, particularly in scenes depicting pharaohs, gods, and other powerful figures. This artistic choice has sparked curiosity and debate, leading to questions about whether these images were symbolic representations of power and status, reflections of mythology, or possibly indications of an ancient belief in the existence of actual giant humans. In Egyptian art, the depiction of humans in various sizes was a deliberate choice, rooted in the cultural and religious values of the civilization. The ancient Egyptians often used scale not to reflect reality, but to convey social hierarchy, power, and divinity. In this context, giant humans in artwork typically represented gods, pharaohs, and other important figures, not as literal giants, but as symbols of their greater importance. Pharaohs, considered semi-divine rulers, were frequently depicted as much larger than their subjects, especially in temple reliefs and tomb art. For example, in scenes showing the pharaoh presiding over battles, rituals, or other official events, the pharaoh would be shown towering over ordinary people. This exaggerated size emphasized the pharaoh's divine right to rule, his closeness to the gods, and his superiority over mortal subjects. In such depictions, the giant size of the pharaoh or a god was a visual metaphor for their authority and godlike nature rather than a reflection of their physical stature. This artistic convention is evident in some of the most famous Egyptian artworks. For instance, in the temple of Ramses II at Abu Simbel, the pharaoh is depicted in colossal form, seated next to similarly massive depictions of gods like Ra and Ptah. While the everyday figures of priests, soldiers, and commoners are shown much smaller, Ramses and the gods are depicted at a monumental scale, symbolizing their divine power and rule over the natural world. In these scenes, the size difference underscores the pharaoh's status as an intermediary between the gods and humans, emphasizing his elevated position in the social and cosmic order. Beyond symbolism, Egyptian mythology also contains references to larger-than-life beings that could be interpreted as giants in a mythical sense. The gods and goddesses of ancient Egypt were often depicted as enormous, both in art and in the stories passed down through religious texts. These deities were believed to possess supernatural strength and abilities, and their larger-than-life representations were intended to convey their immense power. One prominent example is the god Geb, the earth god, who was often portrayed as a giant lying beneath the sky goddess Nut. Geb's body was thought to be the earth itself, his physical form extending across the land. This idea of gods as physically immense beings points to a deeper cultural and religious understanding of size as a reflection of power and natural forces. Additionally, Egyptian mythology features references to colossal primordial beings and creatures that existed in the distant past. For example, the story of the Ogdoad, a group of 8 primordial deities, includes figures like Nun, the god of the primeval waters, who is described as enormous and infinite in scale. Such mythical beings may have influenced the artistic portrayal of giants in Egyptian culture, blurring the lines between mythology, religion, and visual representation. While the ancient Egyptians' symbolic use of scale explains much of the exaggerated size seen in artwork, there have been some alternative interpretations and theories regarding these depictions. In modern times, some have speculated that the frequent appearance of giant humans in Egyptian art may point to the existence of actual giant beings in ancient times. Proponents of this view argue that the consistent depiction of larger-than-life figures in Egyptian art could indicate that ancient peoples had encountered beings of great size.